Boom, 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 boom. Alrighty. Today, I'm going to work on some cheap tablets. One of them has a charging port ripped off, as you can see here. I'm going to jump the 3 traces there. Not that I think they use the USB port much for data transfer, but just in case. And then we'll go drop these off to Micah. And then I think I have a Note 5 charge port to do after that I have to pick up. Indeed, a microfix. So, first things first, I'm going to clean up my pads. I'm going to turn on my fan here. All right. Got those tinned up well. What's up, Rick? Rich, thank you. I appreciate it. What's up, Duncan? Keep those videos coming up. Let me switch these places. That way I'm looking at the camera when I'm reading this stuff. Move my open broadcaster up top. Alright, these are just some cheap tablets. They're not cheap enough to the point that it would be cost effective to buy a new one, so, and I guess the people that have these, they just, I don't know. People get attached to items even if they're just not worth much. Which is fine, I don't mind to repair them. Plus these are good practice. I'd say if you're ever starting out in soldering, and you want to get good practice, these type of cheaper items are great because even if you mess it up, you can replace it fairly cheap, so you don't have to worry about screwing up an expensive device. I really should be using my large iron, but I think I'm going to because that's just not cleaning it very well. Hey Paul, what's up? Paul Daniels, everyone. Oh, Pollard. Happy Sunday. I'm probably going to have to come back later. I've got to pick up a Note 5 at the flea market from Micah. We got to do a charge port on it, so. I really don't. The charge port on the Note's not hard. The hardest part of it is just getting the fucking thing out without destroying everything. Since the home button and everything's connected to it. It's kind of nerve-wracking just pulling it out because of that simple fact. Alright, this should be cleaned up enough. Paul, I haven't gotten to watch your video yet. I saw you posted one. I'm gonna check that out. Pop up out of the bushes. That's me, hide in the bushes. I've been really considering ditching my microscope camera and getting a different one. I just see everybody else's videos and the resolution on the camera is so much better with an HDMI to capture card setup. But it really sucks because I mean the camera that I bought is supposed to be really nice. I mean, it costs a shit ton, but evidently it's just not great. Let me go grab some tweezers real quick. Michael Overdick is here. Hola. What are you laughing about, Overdick? So I'm scraping these traces back. Honestly, I'm thinking about just jumping them to these fucking test points. Maybe easier. I don't know. I may just attach to these traces. Watching you work on a Walmart tablet? Fuck yeah, man. You love Walmart tablets. I'll have you know, Michael Overdick, RCA was once a viable company. We were talking about this the other day. What the fuck happened to RCA? Like, they used to be like top shit in the television market, and then just was there somebody in the upper management that was like, when TV started to change, they're like, we're not changing. The market is just fluctuating a little bit. Everyone loves their box TV inside of the wood cabinet. They will not change. I just feel like that's that was the mindset and the downfall of RCA. Because now they have resigned themselves to making absolutely just cheap fucking electronics. Yeah, Kodak kind of did the same shit, yeah. Innovate or die. RCA has done a good job of dying and then making noise from the grave, evidently. Alright, so let's sit our charge port down on this. Hopefully this is the right one, because I didn't bring the rest of them with me. It looks like the right one. The big dog died. That's kind of bad. Sad at the same time. A lot of people probably won't even get that reference. I wonder if any of the, like, how many viewers actually remember. Well, the market of viewers that I have, I think most of them should understand that reference, but hey, look, I picked the right charging port. The Circuit City of Electronics. Circuit City, man. Circuit City was the Best Buy before Best Buy was Best Buy. Now they're no more. Speaking of old, outdated electronics companies, I saw a Radio Shack the other day while I was in Alabama that was still active and looked like it was like an original store. And I was thoroughly impressed that there was still a Radio Shack. Paul, I can't remember what they call Radio Shack in Australia. Is it like, I can't remember what the fuck it's called. But pretty crazy. I honestly miss Radio Shack. I know that they weren't used very much, but yeah, Tandy. I know they weren't used very much, but honestly, I enjoyed having them around because I could, every now and then there would be a part I would need, and they would have it, like random resistor or something, or an LED or something like that I could go pick up Oh yeah, I saw the one that says "fuck you all." He really liked his Radio Shack, and you all ruined his dream. Alright, I'm going to solder the back side of this real quick. Make sure that my leads are held down in place. Another fellow called Dick Smith. What what the fuck is Dick Smith? Alright, so our main solder legs are tied down there. You can see that the solder on the sides here, even applying at the bottom, it's come through. If you put the right amount, you can get it to pull right through the pad or the via and come out on the other side. Let's go ahead and tack down our back legs and get rid of that fucking brass. So heat this up, add a little more. Alright, okay with that. Get that back in focus a little bit. So that's all soldered. Now we need to make 3 little jumpers. And we'll be done with this one. Everyone knows Richard. What's up, Mark? Tricky Dick. Are we talking about Richard Nixon? Alright, so we'll put a little flux down here. I don't know. I'm still debating if I want to run those the full length or not. I want to go ahead and tin the legs here, just so when I attach my wire it's easier. Alright. Let's go ahead and tack our wire here. Okay. Alright, so that's one done. Sorry, that's kind of out of focus for you all. I'll move it down some here. I'm going to cut that because that trace is kind of weak. Waiting for the race to start. Did the USB charge port replacement once. Perfect fit, except the connector was upside down. Yeah, Paul, we had one the other day that was like that. The pins and everything were exactly the same, but the port on the output was upside down. I think it was on an LG actually. Like it was identical pins. They were just the way the port plugged in was opposite, so when you plugged in the USB, it just dead shorted the 5-volt rail to ground. So naturally it didn't work. Let's see if I can get in a little closer here. I hate working at weird angles, but holding the wire is awkward one direction and soldering the other direction is even more awkward, so I just opt for having comfortable soldering angle and odd wire holding angle. Alright. Well, if I stop being a perfectionist and dicking with it. The reason I just tap there is because my heat on my iron is so high that if I leave it there, it'll melt the solder on both ends of the wire and cause that lead to come up. So I don't want that to happen. So I just tap it instead. Alright, last wire to do, and then we're done with this one. I don't know. Lewis, I'm sure Lewis is up. Who knows what he's doing though. I'm surprised he didn't make a video yesterday. Alright, so this trace runs straight out here to this test pad. I'm not going to try to hit the actual trace. Test pad's right here, so. Alright, make sure our wire is soldered well on this end. Alright, it's good. Let's see, a base temp. Are you using Barlow? Yeah, I'm using a Barlow lens, 0.5x. Did you ask a question earlier? Hold on. Oh. You want to know what temp it is? I'm finding good results with more heat lately. What temperature are you talking about? Hot air? Or are you talking about iron temperature? What temperatures are you talking about? Alright, so all our jumpers are run. We'll clean this up, see how it looks. I like when more and more people get into chat and then more people are more familiar with each other and it's kind of like a big group meeting. When it's just a few people, there's not much conversation that occurs. I think I'm going to ship out a nightmare phone to Jessa and see if she has any better luck than I have. She specifically has asked me not to send her my nightmare phones, but this one, these people really want the data, and maybe Jessa knows something that I don't. We can't get touch working on it at all. It seems to be an issue with the CPU, or the SoC. The SoC currently has been fucked by a previous company. When it first came in, it wouldn't boot, and then I put some pressure on the CPU and then took the CPU shield off and looked around and found some solder balls around it. Knocked those off and got it to turn on. And then it turned out that later on, as we did the touch ICs and then started messing with it, it was just getting progressively worse. Like, sometimes it wouldn't boot and you could press on the CPU and it would work fine with no issues. Now, it pretty much you have to press on it at all times to make it work. And I'm fairly certain that the touch is not being seen by the CPU because it's not turning the grape line on. And the grape voltage line is directly related to touch. And I've tried injecting that voltage line. I've tried jumping every line that I could. I injected the 5.1 volt grape line. I've jumped the 1.8 volt line from another 1.8 volt line. The Mason I think it's 5.7 that comes off the LCM connector. It's there, but I have a feeling that the CPU is not saying something, so that it's not working properly. Alright, so that looks good. Nice and tight. Not going to move. We got our jumpers there. We can confirm that those are connected with a continuity test. I recommend anytime you do a port, do your checks. Make sure that nothing's shorted together. None of these pins should be shorted together. This is ground here. Alright, so now let's check here. It's good. It's good. It's good. Alright, so that should be all fine. I'll put this somewhat back together and then we'll take it back to Micah and he can put all the rest of the shit in it. Actually, I think I have all the screws for this one. Let's see. No, grape is a touch line. Michael Overdick's just here to annoy me. You can never annoy me, Michael. My server power supply is leaking blue smoke. It doesn't sound good. Sounds like a challenge. Michael knows. He knows where my trollness level is, so tread lightly, Michael. Tread lightly. I've got some great memes of Overdick. They are amazing. Alright, let's see if I can plug all this shit back in. Get these crappy ass parts in some sort of position. I don't know, where the fuck is the button? Well, that's gonna suck if that's missing. It's on the floor. Let's see if I see it on the floor. Well, I might be up shit creek without a paddle here. The power button plastic insert piece is currently MIA, and it's not in my bag that came with all this shit. And if that button's not there, this thing's fucking useless. Let's see if it's on the floor down here anywhere. Well, maybe it's in the other bags. Let's check. Okay, well, I'm just gonna hope that it's at the flea market with Micah still. He did have a few parts sitting on his desk, so. Back at it's good news. No cat dingle. What brand tablet? Looks like one of those you can never find. Yeah, this is a no brand Walmart fucking $4 whatever piece of shit. This is one of those tablets I recommend no one buy, but everyone buys them because they're cheap and they think that, oh, well, it's a great savings. I get a great tablet for $50. Oh, I broke my tablet. Why can't you get parts for it? You want $60 to fix my tablet? I could buy a whole one for $50. Well, then go fucking buy one. I'm honest with people when they bring up cheap stuff. I'm like, it's not worth fixing. They're like, what do you mean? I paid like $110 for it. I was like, yeah, you can buy that used for $20. Not cracked. Working. Not fucked up. Did I trim my beard? No. Yeah, they call it an iPad. I've had people do that all the time. Like, yeah, my iPad's broken. I'm like, what generation do you have? Oh, it's the 7-inch one. What? The iPad mini? No, yeah, well, I don't know. It might be a mini. I don't know. I was like, well, can you bring it here? I'll look at it. They bring it in. It's fucking like Ling Tong Smart Tab, something or other. Just fucking piece of shits. This one's RCA, I think. I don't even know. Let's see if I even have a charger laying around somewhere to test this. I'm sure I do somewhere. Where are you? You're a lightning cable. Go away. Macro USB. As a complete noob to Microsoft board repair, where do you all suggest I begin? I suggest you begin on either cheap phones or cheap boards or iCloud lock boards. Do charging ports first. Those are not hard to do, and they'll give you an idea of what temperatures you can run without fucking anything up. Whatever you do, do not take on something that you're not comfortable with. Oh, never mind. This one's an Emerson. So this is an Emerson tablet. It's currently charging now. So that's good. It's at 0%, pulling 1 amp. Yeah, this is probably a DH gate special. Fucking Emerson. But this is charging now, so I've done my job. I'm gonna halfway put this back together. That way Micah can find the button that hopefully is sitting on his desk right now. And if it's not sitting on his desk, I don't know. Maybe I can find one that's broken or something that has the same button. I know he has one of the buttons, but I don't know if he has them all. I'm not going to close this up because we're going to have to take it all back apart anyway. But charge port lines up. Charge port's done. Time to do power button. What the fuck is Emerson? I don't know. What the fuck is Emerson? They make electronics, evidently. No, I've heard of Emerson, but I wouldn't recommend anybody buy their shit. I mean, it's just like these people that go to Walmart and stuff and buy the cheap fucking TV. And then they wonder why when they try to sell it again, they can't get $2 for it. Alright, so on this one, same tablet. As you can see, the power button is missing something. The button. It's missing the contact and the button. There's just a hole here. This is how it should look. This is how it does look. So we're going to take this button off and we're going to snag another one from another tablet that is similar. Radio Corp of America. I don't fucking know, man. No idea who makes this shit. All I know is China is just over there. They gotta be laughing their ass off. Like, they're like, oh, another company contacted us today. They want another cheap tablet. Let's just, here we go. This is the same fucking one. We'll put your logo on it. That'll be $30. Thank you. Go sell this in your country. So that your repair techs have to look at this shit all day. I'm sure you could source these parts if you go direct to China pretty easily. But who fucking wants to? Get out of the way. I don't want you here. Move. We don't need your reinforcement. Alrighty, hot air time to take this off. $19 replacement display. Yeah, I mean, you can find parts for some of them. Without a diagram? Ah, these are simple, man. This is kind of look at it and you can tell. Like with the charge port, like if you look at it, you can tell where the traces go. I'm just fixing broken traces. I'm not diagnosing any type of issue. Now, if these had like power problems, you could probably diagnose it if you could find like a short or something, but other than that, I wouldn't even bother. Yeah, let's see if I can do this without completely scorching this. I'm hoping that my leaded solder will allow this to come off fairly quickly without completely scorching the board here. Alright, there we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's go ahead and wick that. Get rid of that shit. Where the fuck is my brain? There's my brain. Do you ever swap iPhone battery connectors over with hot air? Yeah, I do iPhone battery connectors like that. I've done LCD cable connectors, digitizer connectors. I mean, there's no sense in fucking throwing it away. I mean, it's easy to fix them. I do, on water damaged devices, we swap a lot of connectors because the pins on the connectors usually get burnt up, but the pads are usually still there, so I just swap those out. They're fairly straightforward and easy to do. Yeah, on the batteries, the connector on the battery. I know what you're talking about. Are you talking about the actual cable that connects to the protection board? Those are riveted on and are a pain in the dick. You can solder them. I mean, it's possible. I've done it. I've soldered a iPhone 6 battery to an iPad just to test it before. Alright, so let's get our donor. I think this is an actual RCA tablet that I'm pulling this off of. So here's a perfect example of China just rebanding the crap out of everything. This board's slightly different design, but not very much. Let's see. Yeah, this is an RCA tablet. So here's the RCA tablet. Let's see if I can. As you can see on the bottom camera here, I'll turn the brightness down some. The layout is almost identical. You've got your Wi-Fi antenna down here. You got your speaker at the bottom that's hard soldered. You've got your LCD connector right there. You've got your touch connector over here. Your charging ports there, headphone jacks there, and then your front camera's here. Now if we come over here and we look, you've got your speaker here, your LCD connector here, your front camera here, your headphone jack, your charge port, and your digitizer connector, your battery, and your Wi-Fi antenna cable. So yeah. Oh, these people are gonna be pissed. I'm knocking all their jewelry off. Sorry. Can't do anything about it. They got these little stuck on like bejeweled things and they're all coming off on my mat. Didn't do it on purpose, people. Can't do anything about it. So yeah. They just take the same fucking revisions and same shit and they put a different label on it and different boot up logo and they say, hey, it's a different fucking tablet. It's not. It's the same fucking tablet. I mean, it's got the same components and everything on it. Like, look at it. Charge port. Same. Power button. Same. It's just same shit, different turd. Alright, so let's tin up our pads again. Turn my brightness back up. Yeah, it's just the same fucking stuff, Paul. They're all the same brand, it's just fucking different smell of shit on them. Same brand, different taste of shit. What flavor of shit do you want, sir? I'll take an Emerson. Okay, man. There you go. Take the solder. Got too much solder on there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and let's see if I can get this coating off. They put some type of reinforcement epoxy behind these to kind of hold them against the board. Fuck it. We'll see if it comes off with hot air. Don't you get crazy on me. Don't want too much direct heat here because it'll melt this plastic. The plastic's reinforced, but I still don't like getting it too hot. I may have to clean this too. Sometimes when I do these, the flux will get down inside the button itself. It's still clicking well. That's good. Sometimes flux will get down inside that button and it'll gum it up. So you gotta kind of soak it in alcohol for a second. Cheap slow tablets suck. The only thing, like, I mean, all tablets are just kind of the same shit put in different packaging, but at least with like Apple and Samsung, they make their own stuff and it's like decently made. Some Samsung stuff's even kind of shittily made. I do like that you can tell. Here's the main thing that I can tell, like, with quality difference, if you've got fucking actual screw down holes for the board. These cheap ass tablets, they have screw down holes, but they're straight into plastic and don't fucking hold up. And I think that's one of the key things that I can tell with like the cheap ones versus ones that are actually some money's put into them. Like, one thing that really kind of is concerning is Intel makes the Tegra chip, which is a great fucking chip. It's used in they use it in the Nintendo Switch. I mean, it's an absolutely amazing chip. Like, it's powerful as fuck, and it's a small package, and it doesn't need like crazy ass cooling or anything. But the problem is the Chinese market has found that if you brand things with Intel on it, people think that automatically that makes the entire product good. And the Tegra chip is being used in some of those, which that's fine. The tablets work okay, but they're still not fucking repairable because everything else on them is cheap. The fucking screen's cheap. Like, I had one the other day that had an Intel Tegra chip in it, but it had a plastic digitizer that you could scratch with a key. Yeah, the K1. It's just, I don't know. Alright, so that now clicks, soldered on the board. Way to test that. This switch should go closed whenever you press the button. Let me see if I can do this with one hand. This will be interesting. So listen for the, oh, God damn it. I was going to say listen for the beep, but never mind. Alright, listen for the beep. So every time I press that button, it connects. I probably just turned that tablet on like 7 times. It's alright. It's probably fucking dead anyway. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against cheap products. I think as innovation comes, that the price of items will fall naturally. But my problem is that they take some good parts and they take a lot of shitty parts, and then they try to market them as something viable, and then people buy them, and then you have to fucking explain to them that they have a piece of shit device. And then everyone gets fucking offended if you tell them that their tablet's not worth fixing because they put money into it and they have pride in it. Okay, so that's another Emerson tablet. Let's see if the power button works here. So it's charged to 86%. We're going to press the power button and see if this thing boots up. There you go. So, now booting. So our power button works. Woohoo! Emerson, trademarked. Let's see. Let's see how this runs. This has a The processor on this is a rack chip, RACKCHIP, rack chip. It does have a, I don't know how you say it, Skinix, I don't know, fuck it. It's got their memory chip on it. It looks like a standard SOP ROM chip. It looks like the spacing here too has space for different size ROM chips. Or not ROM, but memory chips. Flash memory. These are probably the same chips that you can buy that come in USB flash drives. I'd almost guarantee they're the same. So that's another drawback to these. If they use some type of flash memory like that, not like a I don't know. Maybe they are a NAND style. I'm not sure. I may be just talking out of my ass. I just know I've seen this style of it, like SOP or TSOP or whatever it is, chip on a flash memory card. So I know flash memory chips they don't last as long as like a NAND or something. Alright, so this tablet's on. Oh man. What is this resolution? Like 12? Is this 12p? This is a HD potato. So HD potato tablet. I don't know if you all can even see it. Look at the pic. You can see in the, like under the microscope, the pixels. Look at that shit. Let's zoom in on this. See if I can pick it up. Let me see if the brightness is all the way up. Yeah, that's max brightness. Ugh. Look at those pixels. We can watch the pixels change. Woo! Yeah. 480 if I'm lucky. Yeah. Like the screen on this thing just looks completely fucking washed out. Like, why? Why? Like, what's the viewing angle on this thing? There you go. It turns white if you turn it far enough sideways. It's a black background, but if you turn it this way, it's white. Like, just fucking junk. Alright, so I'm done making fun of this because it's junk and everyone knows it. Let's use our power button to turn it off. Alright, power off, shutting down. Good to know. Shut your life off. And hopefully we can find a power button for it. I don't know what this one uses. These are built into the frame. Damn, RCA fucking sparging with the big bucks. They got theirs built into the frame. Fucking even's got plastic rivets in it. Shit. I'm sorry, RCA. I thought you were cheap. You got a little class to you. Just a little. Not much. You got like a decent car. But you still live with your mom. It's a 10 screen. You can get them. Dynamic display. Yeah. It's dynamic, alright. Alright, now that I've knocked half the jewelry off this thing and got it somewhat working, that will conclude this video. Paul can get some sleep. I'm going to run these over to Micah so he can put them back together. And I got to take him some parts. And then I will be back in a little while to do a Note 5 charge port. Yeah, I understand that these are probably used for kids, but I mean, fuck, you can buy an iPad mini and put a good case on it and not destroy it. And then at least Like, you get a good quality tablet out of it. I don't know, maybe kids just don't care that much. I mean, if I had kids, I wouldn't give them that shit, but maybe I'd change my mind after they broke it the 60th time. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and gals, if there's any ladies here. And I will be back a little bit later, and hopefully this video is short enough for some of those that have complained about long videos. If it's not, there is no pleasing you. Sorry, wrong channel for you. Everyone have a good day, and I'll be back in probably about 2 hours. Later.